very confusing for a lot of you, but the vast majority of it you guys can just ignore. Notice where it says EXP tag Rogue Cannon. This indicates that the B11's explosive rounds operate on the exact same properties of the Rogue explosive MGs, so we will modify that file a little bit later. Coming to our first change to be made though, the rate of fire. The code calls it time between shots, but it's basically the same thing. The default value is 0.125, which means a shot is fired every 0.125 seconds, which also gives it a rate of fire of around 480 RPM if my math is correct. We went ahead and changed that value to 0.025, which brings its rate of fire to 2400 RPM, 5 times more than the putrid 480 RPM that Rockstar gave it. A couple lines down from that, we also have the spin up time. This is basically how long you have to hold the button down before the gun starts to fire. I gave it a slight increase just for dramatic effect, so the cannon doesn't instantly fire when you press the button. There's a slight delay, but it's not too much. And the final thing we did on this page to the cannon was increase its range. It was 200, which just felt way too short, so we tripled the range to a new value of 600, which will give you much more time for a strafe. Now we need to modify the explosion properties, which are found in the Smuggler's Run DLC files. For the most part, I left the values alone, except for one, which is the end radius, or the blast radius of the explosion set by the cannon. We turned that down to just 0.5, which means there's going to be hardly any splash damage to the cannon, and this in turn prevents the new B11 from becoming the laser or the Hydra cannons, where you just have to spray down the road and rely on the blast radius to get a kill. The cannon will be powerful, however you need to actually hit the target in order to do that. Remember, we want it to be balanced and not broken and overpowered. Let's